This isn't theater. This is a problem. I'm not interested in photo ops. I'm interested in solving a problem.
I'm not interested in photo ops, said the man about the border, apathetic to the nature of our current disorder. The man seen here and here and here. I'm not interested in photo ops, said the man shaking hands, more intrigued by the gay, the bi, and the trans. The man seen here and here and here. I'm not interested in photo ops, says the man in retreat. There are no more pictures when the world has you beat. The border, Iraq, the Middle East on fire. There are no more photo ops when slogged in the mire. The economy, the VA, the IRS on trial. And yet here you are, aloof and a smile. No more halos overhead. No more leaders to greet. No more athletes to hug. No Bergdahls to meet. Shooting pool as Rome burns, an insidious flop. At least for once, that's a true photo op.
Little Dr. Seuss there. Hey, we looked long and hard for pictures for photo ops because I wanted to find out if President Obama really doesn't like getting his picture taken. We couldn't find very many, except for these. So, Eric, this comment.
Just a few.
Well, yeah, just a few. Actually, this could have filled up 2 days. Is this right up there with, like, read my lips and I didn't have sex with that woman in terms of idiocy and kind of representing a presidency?
I'm not sure. I think he has to say I'm not interested in the photo op so he doesn't have to go there. Look, drink a few brewskis, check. Play some pool, check. Don't go. Get some kazash from some donors, check. He's doing what he does best. He likes to party. He likes to hang out. He likes to collect checks. He doesn't do very well when he's got to go down to the border and solve a crisis because he doesn't have any answers. You know what? He's a lame duck president, and he's doing what he does best, being lame.
Well, this raises a good question, Dana. He didn't go to the border. Was it because if he went to the border, so would the media? So if he didn't go there, you wouldn't bring all these other folks down here to see what's going on. Is that a...
But what would be the problem with that?
Taking
people down to see it.
Because it would look bad.
Oh, well.
So that's why he didn't go there.
But
he went to a bar instead.
I'm just going to defend the photo op.
Sure.
Because a presidency is a photo op. I mean, let's just go back for a couple things. I thought of one thing today. Do you have the picture of Ronald Reagan at the Brandenburg Gate? Okay, a lot of thought went into this picture. And Mike Deaver, who worked for Ronald Reagan, was considered like the guru of modern political communication. Yeah. That picture was not just a photo of him giving a speech. That picture said, this is the dividing line between good and evil, and I'm on the side of good. I'm the leader of the free world, and I am here to tell you that communism is going to end. Mm-hmm. That's that message. So when President Obama says he doesn't want to go to the border, okay, fine. But when he says he's not interested in photo ops, if that's true, then don't take photos of the night before when you're playing pool and you're drinking beer, because every photograph is the message. That is your communication. So he could have gone to the border and actually used it in his favor.
Yeah, Bob, why is that? Why does he just, is he at a point where he doesn't care at all? Because the fact is that it's kind of jarring when you're shooting pool while people are going nuts just miles away.
No, I think, let's go to the Reagan example. In that case, it's exactly right. It was a message that was well thought out, but you didn't see the ugly side of communism behind that wall. I think if I were advising Obama, it would be I wouldn't go either, because you would get the media down there and you would get pictures of that are very disturbing. And frankly, right now, the Democrats don't need disturbing pictures. Now, if he had thought about it carefully enough, they could have scripted it in a way that he could have made it a positive. But I think they don't know how to do that very well. I'm frankly, look, I defend him every day, and I try the best I can. But some days are just longer than others, and this has been a long couple of days.
Did you like my poem?
I thought your poem was very well done. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I worked on it all night in my pajamas.
Do you wear pajamas?
No, I don't.
That's comforting.
Yes, it is. It is comforting.
Good to know.
Are they flannel?
I don't know anymore. Andrea.
Do they have feet?
Yes, they do have feet. They have footsies. And they have a little flap in case of emergencies. Andrea, my theory is that President Obama hates small government people. He thinks that they're no government people. So he kind of punishes them through inaction. It's like, if you don't like government, why would you want me to go down there? Does that make any sense?
I don't know if he puts that much thought into it, but I do think you're onto something with the passive aggressiveness in which he's handling the border situation. It's almost like, all right, everyone's yelling for me to do something. I'm not going to do something. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. It's tremendously passive aggressive. There is one photo, though, Greg, that he didn't like. One photo op that he wished he wouldn't have taken. And that's the one with the Danish prime minister.
Yeah.
Maybe Michelle was the one who really didn't want him to take that picture. But I agree. He should have gone to the border with Governor Perry, or at least gone to one of those immigration processing centers and said, even though it would have been disingenuous, you know what, I don't want to do a photo op. No cameras. I'm going to go inside.
Absolutely.
I'm going to see firsthand. I'm going to talk to these people, because you don't need to schedule a photo op. I mean, Dana knows this firsthand. You walk out of an immigration processing center saying, I don't need cameras. The cameras are going to take pictures of you coming out anyway, and it's going to be all over the press the next day. Then he can say, after seeing what I saw today and there, tell those human stories, take the moral high ground away from Republicans on the issue. And because he's so interested in politics anyway, he could have blamed them. He could have said, this is a humanitarian crisis. I've been here, and removed that one attack line that they have been beating him over the head with, which is, you don't care enough to go.
Yeah, but you know, the problem here is that when somebody said it, they expect him to go down there and come up with a solution. Well, there's no solution that he's going to come up with by going down there. The fact of the matter is the solutions are very few. The options are very few. I think he's taken the few that he's had. He's asked Congress to give him money to do that. Congress is pushing back. I think that's a mistake on their part.
I think but the announcement later today, late this afternoon, is that I think that they're getting closer to some sort of agreement. The leaders are.
But I think it is one of those situations that develop for a president. It's like the Middle East. You could try and try and try as hard as you want, but
you can't just. You know, last weekend, Peggy Noonan's column, she had a great line where she said, usually when you try to run out the clock, it's when you're winning. You don't try to do it when you're losing. And he is the president for the next 2 years. The president of the United States sets the foreign policy of the United States. And there's another constituency that he could have talked to by doing a border visit. And it's not the illegal immigrants. It's not the conservatives. It was the government employees. The people that work for the government who are down there doing their very best. And a visit like that from a commander-in-chief would have probably meant a lot to them and shown them that he's listening to them, he's hearing them. Now, they'll say, well, he gets briefings all the time. But again, the message is really borne out by the visuals. And the only visual they have from this weekend is the pool plane.
Or there's could be another. Maybe they think about these things. They say, well, we got this going on. We have the IRS. How long is this going to last? We'll just kind of not talk about it.
Clock?
And well, yeah, but the clock keeps starting over. They find the next thing to run, and everyone, all the media just runs over there.
It's Etch-a-Sketch. They shake it and it's gone.
IRS, VA, Bergdahl, these things all, for some reason, our attention span is so short.
Yeah.
The VA. It was huge.
Yeah, the POW. That was.
Bergdahl trade. It
ISIS.
was huge. ISIS, Christ, everything. And then all of a sudden, a couple days later, it's gone. So a couple days down the road, are we going to forget about the border when the next thing bubbles up? And he's very smart. If he goes to the border, he buys more news. That news cycles last maybe a day or two.
You know, he needs to explain to the American people why this is happening. If I were him, I'd go to Mexico and ask the Honduran president and the Salvadorian president to come there and sit down and say, we're taking your people because you're driving them out of your country. We're not going to do it anymore.
Or he could summon them to Washington.
Bring them to Washington, whatever it takes. But I would think you have the head of states of the three countries that are doing the most of the people who are coming from there and saying, enough. It's your practices that are driving these people to leave, and you're going to have to get yourself right, or we're going to stop helping you.
Well, I want to get this sound on tape from Senator Coburn. We're spending, I guess, billions of dollars on our money, on all sorts of stuff for these children to take care of them and get them back. He has an interesting message here. Let's listen.
What about the kids that are already here? 52,000 of them. By the end of the year, it's projected to be 80,000. We have to find a way to deal with the kids that are already here.
Yeah, I think.
And that's mostly what half of the money the president requested today goes towards the kids that are already here.
It's the wrong approach. Look, for $8 million, you can put them all on a first-class seat back to their homes. That's $8 million. That's a first-class seat, one way to each of their homes.
Does that make sense? Just it's $8 million as opposed to a couple of billion. Does that make sense?
Sure, but the government has become a big, fat, blundering behemoth that can't figure anything out. I mean, do you really think that $4 billion is going to be appropriated in the right way to get these kids back? It's PR campaigns in these Central American countries. What's that going to do? Well, you know, the GAO said that it would take $3.7 billion to seal the border in the first place. So again, you're just wasting money on something that, frankly, Greg, the president could have made a very easy fix to get these Central American kids quickly deported. It would have been a very quick fix to a change in the law. But the president, and I believe he's so incompetent because he doesn't have the gubernatorial experience that Bill Clinton had, that Bush had, that Reagan had. You know, governors actually have to do stuff.
Yeah.
Senators don't, and he thinks like a senator, and his hope is just that the media will cover for him because, as you point out, these scandals, short attention span, he's thinking maybe this will go away.
Well, Coburn's a master of coming up with these little quick fixes like this. There's a reason they left their homes, and the reason they don't want to go back, and that is their mothers or fathers or both do not want to see them killed. And Honduras is the largest number of murders in any country in the world per capita.
So you send them on their own?
No, you can't send them back.
Coyotes?
Well, Bob, so under that theory, then we're going to take people from Syria, we're going to take people from North Korea, we're going to take people from all sorts of countries in Africa. That theory is very flawed.
No,
I think you have to
Jordan takes.
You know why you were missing here? He doesn't want to send it back. He can talk all he wants about sending it back. He's not going to send it back. They're not going anywhere, and no one else is going anywhere. They're going to eventually assimilate into our society, and then everyone's going to get the message, come on over. You don't have to go back, and this is just going to be a breeding ground for illegal immigration.
Bob, they're in harm's way now because there's a business of preying on immigrants that's been happening for decades. They are in danger, these young girls, of being raped. There's a major health crisis happening. There's a danger of them being preyed upon. I'm not sure that they're better off because look at the footage that we're seeing. It's inhumane what's happening to these kids.
What about the UN? Aren't the UN involved in these border disputes and repatriation and that sort of thing? Why can't they fork over the dough?
One, because we'll defund them. I mean, it's like,
yeah, it's our money.
Laundering.
It's our money. Okay, can we get a refund? Wait a second. Can we all, on our taxes, get a tax deduction if we count these kids as dependents?
Yes.
Oh, I see the wheels turning.
Yes, I have. I'll take 5,000 dependents.
I think reuniting children, when possible, with their parents is the best option. That's what we try to do here in America. If a family has a problem and they have to go into foster care, there is compassion and empathy that we try to show to children. And I think reuniting them with their parents and saying, we understand why you were trying. It's not going to work. If you want to apply, here's the
I'm going to tell you how far left I am. I would get their parents and bring them to the United States.
They're going to be coming anyway.
If they're
that's the false hope that's what they believe.
Yeah, it's the magnet. The kids are the magnet.
Yesterday you said send them back.
I said send them back. If the alternative, it occurred to me today, the alternative is to bring the families out of those dangerous places.
But if they have court hearings,
no, I've never been to Honduras, but I've been to South America. I've been to Rio de Janeiro. There's a lot of crime in Rio too. Should we take every Brazilian that wants to come here too?
Well, that's prostitution, is what you're talking about.
No, I'm not, Bob. I'm talking about a lot of crime throughout the country of Brazil. So we should take every child because there's crime in that country. We should take them all. Take all comers.
Regardless of fault, and I think that the blame game is getting a little bit tired. Now it's Thursday. I think now people are sort of ready for leaders to come up with some sort of solution. Right. But let's just try not to assign blame, but he is responsible given that he is the president of the United States. So he has to do something. And what I would hope is that he can partner with the governors because they're the ones that actually have to govern and do things in their states, and they need the federal government support because it's a national border.
All right.
That should be they should just be able to sit down and do that.
I think you're right. I don't think he wants to send them back because he thinks he's sending them back to their death, and I think he's right.
Votes coming up.